What's the version of the internet in 2035 that excites you?
Oof. Well, for sure. I mean, like the optimistic version of me wants to believe that a lot more people are creating a lot more cool stuff, and it's going to be easier to discover that stuff. And I don't buy into this version that people have where the internet doesn't exist anymore because all we do is talk to an AI implant in the ear.
Everyone's really pushing that view of the future. And I'm like, I don't know.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
But maybe that's the version that we get.
So you're hyper optimistic. You're like more creative, more playful, more open.
I think so. Yeah, I don't see a reason why not. I think like AI is mostly taking away some of the mundane work for creatives. There's also like, I also have like a different view on, with all the tooling, let's take video as an example, right? With all the amazing capacity or capabilities that I see these video models bring to the market right now, we're not seeing an abundance of amazing video content being created. And there is a very interesting, I think is almost like a lag where the capabilities of these models is now so much greater, but the amount of people that have amazing ideas that they can now put into making a very creative video is still the same amount of people. Right. And so it's the same amount of people now having better tools to do doper work. But with time, I think more people that are now entering sort of the video production market, I think we're going to see much better work.
So do you feel like the future raises the floor for a lot of people, but also the ceiling for others?
But yeah, both.
Yeah, both.
I think so.
I like that optimistic view. Maybe I'm too optimistic.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to sci-fi real quickly as we kind of finish, because in some of the things you're reading right now, sci-fi writers have this concept of the novum. You ever heard that word?
No.
It's Latin for like the new thing.
Okay.
So it would be like, the idea would be it's scientifically plausible, but it's an innovative concept, and at its core, the science fiction story, it kind of differentiates it from reality. So you think about, like, for instance, in the 70s, Star Wars came out, and you have lightsabers and all this kind of stuff, and now you have YouTube videos of people going like, technically, theoretically, we could build a lightsaber, right? Or you think about technology that was like impossible. I remember one of my favorite series was Back to the Future when I was a kid. Marty McFly having a video conversation in Back to the Future, me going like, that would be wild.
Yeah.
And picking up the phone that was still attached to a cord to call my friend and tell him about it, right?
Yeah.
That's like a science fiction novum. It's scientifically possible, but maybe out there in the future. So in that idea, what's the novum right now? What's scientifically plausible, possible, but will happen in the future?
I mean, there's a couple of cool startups now doing flying cars.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about Back to the Future, there's a company in Germany, I think it's called Helium. They're doing like 2-man helicopters with like 4 rotors. And it's now out of test phase, so you can like technically buy one, but then obviously like there's no, like, all the laws are like, this is no go. So, but in the future, for sure, we're gonna have transport that just like flies to a destination.
I mean, we're seeing novum right now, right? Like self-driving cars.
Yeah,
an impossible science fiction idea. Even if you watched like I, Robot with Will Smith like 15 or 18 years ago when it came out, you're like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, you probably pulled up here in a Waymo today. So is there any other novums that you kind of see out there? What about specifically in like the tech space or design or the web space?
Yeah, the most wild thing that I've seen was a startup that was trying to like control the weather, like weather control, where they could, regulate rainfall and sun. So there's probably a version where we get to modulate a little bit the temperature maybe of the world.
Sure. Okay.
But I don't know. Like I'm not too far out there when it comes to investing in startups like that.
Okay.
It's more like.
So specifically with the internet, if you could write a chapter in the internet story, and it's coming up next, what would you like that next chapter to look like in the story of the internet?
The next chapter in the story of the internet. I still think there's like a large opportunity to get a lot more people on the playing field, right? I feel like there's a lot more developers and engineers in the world making things for other people than there are designers and creatives. And that's weird. Like the last time I looked at those numbers, like 35 or 40 million engineers in just the United States, and there's on 4 million designers.
Right.
Like, why is that ratio so crazy? Right? Like, why is there way more developers? Is that a tooling thing? Is that just an interest thing? But if you look at like creatives, designers, people creating interesting things for other people to do something with, even just product builders, people that both physical and digital, I feel like there's still so much room for people to participate in that. And to me, that's exciting. Like getting more people to participate in sort of like creation on both digital, not only digital, but on the internet. So
do you feel like tools like Framer, vibe coding tools are going to allow more and more designers to get into onto the playing field and actually start playing?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, like that's the whole. I've gone through. I test all the new models and all the vibe coding tools every 4 to 6 weeks at this stage.
You're probably slow to the game at that point, but yeah.
You gotta. I had Jurre, our head of marketing. He's like on a 10-day skiing trip, and like 6 days in, he texts me. He's like, I feel like I'm 2 years behind. I'm like, dude, just enjoy the snow. It's fine. you'll be fine. But it's going pretty fast.
Yeah.
But it's an exciting time, right? Like the models are now getting so good so fast that some of the things that I've been frustrated with as a builder on the internet, not even a creative, I'm now starting to discover like I'm actually capable of doing a lot of those things. It's still a long way from everyone will be able to participate.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is also extremely single player still. Like we haven't figured out, I can participate to Framer the app, but it's shaky, right? Because I don't know what cloud writes, so I can test it and verify that it works. But if I then commit it to the code base, now I made it a problem for an engineer. Like you go read this and say if it's good enough, right?
Yeah.
And so there's still a lot of room for improvement for AI to really make it a level playing field.
Yeah.
But as a vehicle for people to express themselves and get an
initial
version of an idea live is amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like you just said, so much is changing. It's changing, I feel like, every single day. When I log on, I'm like, what? Yeah. What's happening now?
It's also a Twitter algorithm.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think
I'm definitely feeding right into it, and it's my own problem.
Yeah, I think we have Nikita Beer to thanks for that.
Yeah,
but in the last 2 or 3 months, like that algorithm has been tweaked where if I'm now opening that For You tab, it's man.
My anxiety spikes in those moments, and I go, I've had enough. I got 45 seconds of looking at these things, and I shut it down. But last question for you. Because so much is changing so quickly, and we really have no idea what the novum's going to be. We have no idea what the future is going to hold. What do you want to be true and to stay true about creativity and design in the next 20 years? What do you want to not change about creativity?
I think. Well, I'll get back a little bit to what I just said, but like the act of building something and creating something, that is something to sort of inspire more people to do.
Yeah.
But also something almost that I feel like that needs protection a little bit.
Yeah, a bit of that pioneer spirit.
Yeah, because like to do good work, you need to absolve yourself in that work and do a little bit of it. And if AI makes it easier and easier and easier to just, engineering has dramatically changed. I think it's like two times over in the last 12 months, where most of the engineers that I now work with at Framer, putting agents to work, they're almost more product managers than like most don't really write code. Like the bulk of code gets written now by AI, not really by engineers anymore. And I think if design is the logical sort of like next area to disrupt for AI. So with Framer, we're also working obviously on an agent. Also is getting released in the first half of this year. And it will make it easier to do work, but it's hard for us, also for me, to predict in what way it will change the designer's work.
Sure.
Like if you would have asked a year ago engineers this question, all of them would have said like, yeah, but it's not changing. But then 12 months later, it has totally changed.
Totally.
And so will AI and agents change design so that you think of yourself more as a design manager or like a product manager?
Right.
Very hard for me to predict. To answer your question, I would hope that we can still ourselves be part of that creative process. And the creative process to me is like you're actually trying to build it, right? The creative process, you can have very different versions of it. Some people start out on a whiteboard and want to sketch everything. For me, it's like, well, I'm participating in trying to build this product, right?
Yeah.
I'm drawing a little icon here to figure out what the right metaphor is for that. I'm placing a little bit of a, interface element over there to figure out, does this need to be a little 400 by 300 window where users get to choose between an input and a thing and a button. Playing with that yourself helps you mold the product, helps your understanding of when the product is good because you have explored 10, 20, 30, 40 different options. If AI takes all of that away and just gives you 5 options and you click on 2 because that's the one that's the best, that is where I feel maybe we're starting to lose something.